Welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we take the source material you shared and, well, really dig into the most interesting bits for you.
Hmm.
And today, we're diving into the Scruff app. This is based on that article you sent over from MenMeetMen.com.
Right. Yeah, it should be interesting. The article paints Scruff as aiming for something a bit different than your standard dating app.
Okay, so let's unpack that. What exactly is Scruff, according to this piece? It launched, what, 2010?
Yep, 2010. And it's definitely popular, especially as the article notes, within the bear community. But it's broader than that gay, bi, trans, queer men.
Yeah, it welcomes a wider group. What really caught my eye was how the article describes it,
Yeah.
trying to create this vibe, like a digital version of a really lively, friendly bar.
That's a great comparison. And it kind of sets the stage, doesn't it? The article immediately frames Scruff as not just for dating.
Exactly. It's pushing this idea of community, friendships, shared experiences, more than just swipes.
Which is, a pretty significant angle right from the get-go. It sets it apart a bit.
So that leads to the big question. Why pick Scruff? And the article keeps circling back to this community idea.
Right. Finding friends, people to travel with. We'll get into the venture thing later, I guess. Even finding local events. It's not just about hookups or
It
dates.
sounds like they're trying to build a whole, social world within the app.
Which makes sense. I mean, finding those physical community spaces isn't always easy for LGBTQ plus guys everywhere. So a digital space that tries to foster that, that's appealing.
And tied into that seems to be this focus on authenticity. The article suggests Scruff encourages users to be, well, themselves.
Yeah, less pressure to be some perfect curated version. More just.
Which you'd think is pretty crucial for building actual community, right? If people feel they can be genuine.
Absolutely. It fosters, connections based on who people really are, shared interests, that sort of thing. Makes the community aspect stronger.
Okay, so let's say someone's thinking, all right, I'll give Scruff a try. What does the article advise for setting up a profile? Photos, obviously.
Yeah. Clear photos are key. It mentions getting a good face shot and a full body picture in there. Standard stuff, really, but important.
Gives people a sense of who you are visually, but then there's the bio. The article really stresses that.
Mm-hmm. It's your space to actually say something, your interests, hobbies, maybe what you're looking for on the app. It helps attract people who are actually on your wavelength.
It's like putting your personality out there, isn't it?
Mm.
The more you share, the better the chances of a real connection, presumably.
Exactly. So, okay, profile's up. What can you actually do on the app? The article highlights a few key features. Let's start with Venture.
Ah, yes, venture. This sounds pretty unique.
It does. It seems directly aimed at travel and connecting people who are moving around.
So if you're going somewhere or if you live somewhere people visit,
Right. Venture lets you connect with guys visiting your town or people who live in the place you're visiting or even other travelers going to the same place.
that's actually pretty clever, like a built-in network for travelers.
Hmm.
Makes meetups easier, maybe explore together.
That seems to be the idea, yeah. Especially helpful if you're traveling solo, maybe. Helps you tap into the local scene or just meet someone new.
Yeah, I can see that being really useful. A social layer on top of travel. The article mentions users can set a traveling status.
Seems like it. Makes you visible to locals or others with overlapping plans. It facilitates that initial connection.
Okay, cool. The other big feature mentioned is events.
Right. And this one feels very much about that local community building the article talks about.
So like listings for pride events, parties, other gatherings, all in the app.
Exactly. It bridges that gap between online and offline, encourages people to actually, meet up in the real world.
Which is vital for real community, isn't it? That face-to-face connection at shared events.
Definitely strengthens those bonds. So, venture for travel, events for local stuff. But connecting with anyone online, safety comes up. What does the article say there?
It does touch on safety. Mentions profile verification as one measure Scruff has.
Okay. Doesn't detail how it works, but the idea is to add some confidence that people are who they say they are.
That little check mark can help, yeah. It also notes user controls, visibility settings, messaging permissions.
Standard but important features. You control who sees you, who can talk to you. Basic online safety.
And then the common sense advice for meeting up. Public place first time, tell a friend your plans.
Trust your gut. Always. If it feels off, leave. Good advice anywhere, really.
Absolutely. Solid stuff. Okay, so you see someone interesting. How do you, make the first move on Scruff? The article mentions the woof.
Ah, the woof. It's presented as like a low-key way to show interest. A digital nod almost.
Less pressure than sending a full message right away.
Seems like it. Just a quick, hey, noticed you. But the article is clear a woof is just the start.
Right. To build anything real, you need to actually talk. Respectful, engaging conversation.
Exactly. Ask questions, share a bit about yourself. The goal, as the article puts it, is genuine connection, whatever that looks like, friendship, romance, something else.
Which loops us right back to that community theme again. It keeps coming up. Scruff positioning itself as more than just dates and hookups.
That feels like the core message from the article. Yeah, fostering friendships, support networks.
And the events feature plays into that, encouraging people to get involved locally, build that real-world social scene.
Mm-hmm. It's about creating opportunities for those shared experiences that build community over time.
And the article suggests this can create a real sense of belonging, which can be, well, incredibly valuable, empowering even.
Especially if people feel isolated otherwise. That link between the online space and tangible offline connections is powerful.
Now, for the power users, the article gives a quick mention to Scruff Pro, the premium version.
Right, so if you use the app a lot, Pro offers some extras. Things like unlimited profile views.
No more hitting a limit.
Exactly. And more advanced search filters. So you can really zero in on specific criteria, maybe interests, relationship goals, that kind of thing.
More targeted searching.
Yeah.
And no ads, right?
And an ad-free experience, yeah. So smoother browsing, more features if you're a heavy user, makes sense as a premium offering.
Okay, so stepping back a bit, this article is from MenMeetMen.com, which is all about guys meeting guys. It gives Scruff some context.
It does. It positions Scruff as, one solid option among many. The site itself covers a broader range.
Yeah, the article briefly mentions other things the website discusses, like discreet hookups, saunas, adult venues, cruising.
Swingers clubs, even non-app ways of meeting people, it acknowledges there's a whole spectrum out there.
It's like saying Scruff is great for this, especially community, but here are other paths too. I noticed it compared cruising and apps directly.
Yeah, suggesting different strokes for different folks, basically. Some prefer spontaneity, some prefer the app's filtering, different needs, different comfort levels.
And the main site, nnmeetmen.com, even has audio guides on things like safety for discreet hookups.
Seems so. Suggests they're providing resources across that whole range of ways men connect.
So it paints Scruff as a significant player, particularly with its community focus, but within this much larger, diverse landscape of how gay, bi, and curious men connect.
Precisely. It's not just about transactions. Scruff, according to this article, is really trying to foster that sense of belonging.
Right. Okay, so let's wrap up this deep dive on Scruff, drawing from that menmeetmen.com piece. The big takeaways seem to be,
The strong community focus, definitely. Going beyond just dating.
yeah, encouraging authenticity. And those features like venture for travel and events for local stuff.
Mm-hmm. Plus the safety aspects they mention and seeing Scruff as one part of a bigger picture of connection options.
What really stands out, I think, is how the article consistently frames Scruff as trying to be this gateway, not just to dates, but to friendships, shared activities, real community connection.
Agreed. That's the recurring theme.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. When you think about all these different ways to connect, the article touched on the apps like Scruff, more spontaneous, real-world stuff. What is it about community and connection that matters most to you?
Yeah, what are you actually looking for? Is it the structured, community-focused vibe of an app like Scruff? Or does something else align better with your own goals for finding meaningful relationships or experiences?
Something to think about, definitely. What fits your way of connecting in this diverse world?